Okay, so as we could see in the global forum, there are some parts of this release that have been I had received a lot of comments, I would say, what others have not been mentioned almost. Um, I would say one of the things that people are talking most about is injuries.
Yep.
So, do you want to clarify anything? Because there are many questions that have been asked quite a lot and repeatedly, I would say. Tassos or Johan, maybe?
Well, can just say that, of course. I mean, I think like the general idea here is not to increase. We're not increasing injuries. We're actually reducing, the amount of injuries. But we're kind of we wanted to move move this random event that we have in Hattrick, move some of that out of the actual match, so that you have a little more chance of managing the consequences of it. That's the main idea, and that's why we are tilting it from long injuries to bruises, basically. And also we wanted to prevent matches where there's like just a freakish amount of injuries, because it has such devastating effects on a team. So yeah, that's the main idea. But as usual, Tassos is better on the details than I am. But I think that this quality that was what we wanted to achieve with the change, and the reason we did it. Because there's a lot of talk about random, but obviously a game needs to have random elements, but maybe we can limit situations where where something happens that you have no control over, and it badly affects you.
Yeah, because now there's a, a moment in which you may be forced to take a decision if, for instance, one of your players gets bruised during training. You now have to take a choice. Do I risk fielding him and, risk a higher injury?
Yeah.
It's not that he would lose training if he's a trainable one, because he could play probably in the midweek match. So it's not that we're nerfing training, as I've read in some comments. But I think that the decision for me it's a very good one. When I'm facing this, and I've actually faced that, not of course during training, but I got an injury from a player in the homegrown league, and he kind of recovered before my seventh. I think it was the seventh round of the cup, and I wanted to play him because he was a key player, and I fielded him, bruised, and he got injured again.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Now
that
I also saw an example like that in global. So now, of course, everyone that has had that happen to them will bring it up. But the more likely thing is that he would not get another injury, obviously. But yeah, of course, that can happen. Yeah. What do you have anything to add, Tassos?
Actually, I can talk for like an hour about that, but I will try to keep it short. I believe there have been a lot of not assumptions, but things that maybe we didn't communicate it well in global, because I see a few of messages repeated, which are not entirely correct from what users should expect. First, I want to add on the why that you mentioned, why we changed that. And you are correct. The logic is exactly like we want to take part of the random outside of the match, so we give them some time to the users to react. Also, season has 16 weeks. We used to see a lot of long injuries, like 3-4 weeks of injuries. So it has been really tough for users. So what we wanted to is to shift that over bruise and in 1 week injuries. But game is balance. We cannot remove something without adding something else. Otherwise, we're gonna significantly affect that. So what we had to was to add it somewhere else. I saw several comments claiming that the length. You're laughing, Jade.
You disappeared for a while.
Yeah, we
Oh,
lost you mid-sentence.
You had seen
my
several cases, but we don't know what case it is was.
let me try again. Mm,
And let me highlight a comment that I just seeing. Best shirt ever from HT Daniel.
Yes.
Do you have anything to show, Johan?
Yeah, do you have anything to spoil?
Yeah, mine is more used, I think.
Yeah, I have saved this one for this occasion.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're wearing it for the first time.
Actually, no, but it looked like Johan have been on many streams with his.
I don't know, but the color in Johan's is like faded.
Well, it is 12 years old, so. But I guess you got the newer copy, Daniel.
No.
yeah, sorry guys, I have a technical problem. Okay,
I have
my
only
headphones
had it
stopped.
inside in dark rooms to avoid it to getting sun.
Well, it seems today will be all about injuries. We have this comment. Someone has injuries at the Wi-Fi router. So, and I saw some of these comments right at the beginning about injuries and bruises. So I think it will be kind of the subject for today.
Yeah. No, exactly. The the reason I wanted Daniel to come on this stream, not only because I've been asking for years to see him here for the first time, but we're doing the big league reform, and that is really your pet project, Daniel. So it would be interesting to get the background on that, and we. Maybe we should give you a better introduction also to who Daniel is, because we didn't mention that more than that you're you're my co-founder to the company, and Daniel is the system architect and the has been the lead programmer for all these years, and really a super important person, maybe the most important person in Hattrick, I would say. So it's really nice to have you here and hear the background story of our league system. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it all started with that I felt a little bit alone in the lowest league. All you other guys, you're playing higher up, and it felt like I must be really alone down here. But then it turned out that 40% of our users are equally bad as me. So we are playing in the lowest division, and I play in Sweden, and it has been really hard for me to promote because a lot of good teams have demoted from the division above. So it turns out that 25% of our users are playing in Division 6, where we have the biggest problem, and that where we only have one shared promotion spots. So I thought it was time to solve this. This hasn't been so much a problem in the past when we were bigger, because most leagues had more than 6 divisions at the time. But now 20 leagues in Hattrick have 6 divisions. So we wanted to make it more fun to play, be more easy to demote from the lowest division, and don't. So you have more to compete for. Every match should matter, as we always say. But then it turns out that if you're playing one of those series and league levels, your whole season can be spoiled already after 6 or 7 matches, because you don't have any chance to promote at all that season. So this is the background for it, and And as everyone knows here, I mean, our league system has been the same all these years, and also fixed that all leagues are the same. But all leagues are not the same. So I'm looking really much forward for this new flexible way that every league can have its own structure that fit that leagues the best.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
we will. This is a test that we're doing now with 10 leagues, and it affects 12,000 users. So hopefully we will see some good outcome of it, and then we will fix the rest of the leagues around Christmas when in next season break.
Mhm. Okay, so this is just the start.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just
I
a
call-
start, and I also must say I have also always felt that the lines that we have that in the league table that feels you have to know so much to understand if you are going to demote, promote, or whatever. Especially for new users, it has been super hard when they come to the game. So I really like our new series page update here. I think that will make a huge difference for new users.
Yeah, it looks really good. And yes, I've seen some, I mean, with some other teams, friends of mine who have joined the lowest league in the country, you could see what you mentioned, that it's hard for them to start because they either face bots or they face very good teams or for their level. I mean, teams that have been there for 1 year, 2 years or more. So I think this change is needed. Is there
We
anything
have
that we
seen it.
can share? Yeah.
Sorry.
No, is there anything that we can share about the next step of this process?
You mean Monday morning when the magic will happen? Hopefully at 9. At 9 we will close the system, and then we will. Yeah, we said that we would have a little pray together at the office before we push the button. It feels a little bit scary, I must admit, but hopefully everything is correct. We have tried it back and forth, and saying that it's bulletproof here will definitely bite me, but I hope it's bulletproof.
We should say that in those divisions that are affected, I mean, they are shrunk. So some teams will move, have to move into other series.
Yes, they will move
They will
sideways.
change, move
And
sideways
the
only.
algorithm works that way that we try to so you're not moved alone. So in most cases we can move a complete series to another series, so you just get new friends, but you have all your old friends with you. But in some series there will be managers that will be alone in this new series, but then they have the switch series window that happens on Thursday, Friday next week to move to another series of their choice.
Okay, so there's a question by L.A. Alba, of course, always him. He says, so for the league structure at this, no, I don't get it. And now it is 2 promotions at lower level instead of 1, or still 1?
No, I mean that differs. I mean in a league with the 6th division, it's one shared promotion slot. 50% get directly promoted, and 50% get qualifier. But in other divisions, it's 2, and in a few it's 4 promotion slots, and in the lowest division. And what we want to achieve eventually is that all have 4 promotion slots. So that means that the lowest division is equally large as the second lowest. But we will not get there at once, because we don't want to demote any users by force. So when the opportunity comes, we do the change.
Okay, so we've started with 13 countries, is it?
I think it was 11, but when I read the editorial, I missed one country. So yeah, it's 10 now, I think.
Okay.
But wasn't it the other way around, that it's actually 12, but we only mentioned 11?
first you mentioned 10, and then
Okay.
but then you removed another country now. You removed Sweden, so I don't know what to do with that because I want more chances to promote.
Okay.
We have to discuss it later, Johan. But in the
Okay.
first editorial, Sweden was with us, so yeah.
Very strange. Very strange. Okay. I have an idea what might have happened, but
I
I'll
think
say.
you left it out because of me. You don't want me to promote. You want me to be there, down
Yeah,
there.
it could be that.
So-
I think it's worth mentioning also that, like, as the and correct me if I'm wrong, but as the league trees get more concentrated, we have fewer bots, right?
Yes.
In general, and that also means that the prediction of who will promote will be much more certain, because we don't have all these like bots that get promoted, and then there's lucky losers that get promoted
Exactly.
instead.
Yeah.
So like now you like there's all this whole science of like what's the probability of me promoting, even though I didn't end up in a promotion slot, and do I want to promote even though this. So it's gonna be like much clearer to the users what's actually going on, and that's gonna be you're gonna be able to see that in the league table much clearer than today. So yeah, that's a nice bonus.
The amount of lucky losers will be reduced dramatically with this change. So I mean, so this is the first step, and then eventually we will have to do something with the lucky losers. So we give more information. Now it feels like we give way too little information about that when it happens. But at least now we will reduce them. So
yeah.
Okay, so this is the first step, and I guess in the next season, maybe there will be other countries that will have this, if everything works.
Yeah,
correctly, yes?
if users are as happy as me with this change, I mean, we will see that clearly in a few weeks, I think. Then we will take the rest and make every league as fun to play in the lowest division as possible for next season break.
Okay, perfect. And now that we're talking about leagues, we have a question that has been asked repeatedly in the forum about the new countries, Rwanda and Bahamas. Especially, it seems that people are eager to play there, but the countries are still not available. The leagues are still not available to choose from in Hattrick. And so the question is, when will we open these leagues? Johan, I think it should be like maybe early next week.
Yeah, I'm not. I think like the rule is that it has to happen. The deadline is, so to say, when the cup is drawn, right, for the new league. But I think we're gonna set them up early next week. Yeah, Monday or Tuesday. But it's Goosey who does it probably, and the associated sites. But my guess is that on Monday morning we will announce the time. So maybe that is Tuesday morning, something like that.
Okay, and on a similar line, okay, this moved just when I was clicking on it about new leagues. Will, like last season, existing leagues be resized, like a division level added or removed? If yes, for how many countries and which? Tassos maybe can answer this, or Daniel?
I don't think we have plans for that for this season. Nothing has planned. So maybe this will come next season break.
Yeah.
Okay. And then similar, on the subject of promotion, is there any hope in the near future that second place team from the second division can get promoted to the top division?
I would say definitely not in the near future, since every season is 16 weeks, and next season break will be all the lowest division. Then the way I see it is that we are starting from bottom up. So if we do something more, then we will start in the next lowest division to see how we can make it more fun to play there.
Okay. There's another question here about the scheduled dates for the off season. Do we have them anywhere? Because I usually see them in threads and forums.
Usually mods post them every season in local forums.
Okay, so I would suggest this user ValXD to go to the local forum and to probably be there. I mean, I've seen it in different forums in Scotland,
If not,
Spain.
maybe next week.
Okay. So now, Homegrown League. Is it possible to stop a bot team from promoting to the next division? Maybe let the team under the bot team get the promotion? Who wants to reply to this question?
Everything is
That's a good
possible.
question. Yeah. Theoretically, there is space for all the teams in 4th and 5th division. So we could have them as lucky losers or something similar and promote them, but that will be a manual effort. So I don't really know what will happen this season end. But, we'll try to fit as many as we can with the least potential bugs, because everything that we do manually means that can mess up with other things, other processes. So we need to be careful, like do the least with the most with the least bugs.
Okay, and now that you're talking, there's an unrelated question, but it's for you. How do you pronounce?
It's Vlahakis. It's so easy. Why you cannot do that? Vlahakis. It's a Greek name. So easy to pronounce it.
Vlahakis. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so, and another unrelated question, but Burst says that he's afraid that Johan might get bruised if that stack of books falls on his head.
Yeah,
And we know.
This is nothing. I have had much more impressive stacks in the past, so I'm a pro on this. Don't worry.
Your head looks a little bit flat. Now I know why.
And there's another thing about injuries that I think this is a long comment, but it's worth highlighting it. Igor Grusik says, this season I have 16 injuries. I had 17 injuries in season with 5-level medic. It's a big problem in Hattrick. I have this in all my teams every season. You must fix this. 90% to have injured in 1 week. It's not 10, 12%. Please change this. Okay, so this is what we have changed.
Exactly. Right. I would say like that was a perfect comment for last stream, because we just fixed that. We reduce all the frequent, like how frequent the injuries are now and how long they are. So we won't have cases like this. I mean, the season is 60 weeks. We cannot have so many long injuries. So yeah, that's what actually changed.
Yeah, exactly. So to sum it up, the injuries will be shorter, generally, right? We will have less injuries in the same team in the same match, right? And then there's, just correct me if I'm forgetting anything. And then there's the possible bruise in training.
A comment here, because I saw a lot of posts. If a player is already injured or bruised, he's not going to get another bruise or a higher injury during training update. So training update is for full healthy players only. Because I read that, and I'm going to answer that, of course, tomorrow, but nice to mention it here.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes to realize that you're not saying something that you know it happens, but you give it for granted, and then you release the editorial, and there's that question over and over again. So it's good that we have those streams and the global forum thread to solve this and answer to these questions. Okay, so what else about trainings? We have this possibility that if a player is bruised and plays, they can get a higher injury.
Yeah, it's not such extreme thing as made it look like in the forum. So it's just slightly more than before.
Yeah, because it
And
was
again,
already-
it's I read also this comment. The chance to get an injury has nothing to do with that. They have exactly the same chances as any other player. If that player is picked for an injury, then that injury will be slightly worse than before.
Okay. Yeah, so this is something that it's good, like, saying loud and clear. We're talking about slight things.
Yeah.
Same as when we say that the players who are getting training have a slightly higher chance of being the ones picked for a bruise in training, right? It's not that.
So, yeah, I'm not sure if I should mention that. I probably gonna regret that, but it's more like 60-40%, like 60 if it is a trainee, 40 if it's any other player. So we are really not thinking about like all your trainees will get injured.
Exactly.
It's really small difference.
And it would be just maximum one a week.
Yeah.
And it will not be
That's
that
one.
often, I guess, because if you have a medics and you have an assistant or two assistant coaches, and
Yeah, the expected one will be something like 2 to 3 maybe per season. So that's the expected. We know that random hate some people. There's like that unlucky team ID that people get hit more. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's expected 2 to 3 maybe.
Okay, perfect. So I guess that's it for injuries. We don't need to say anything else. I don't know if people have been writing about injuries lately, because I wasn't reading the text, but if you see any comment that is worth highlighting. There's, for instance, this about national team players, because we've been talking about this.
Yeah,
So-
there are 2 suggestions that came up during the brainstorming as well with a close group we have. One is friendlies and one is NTs. So I don't know if we're gonna have something before the new season, but I think both ideas are quite valid. So sooner or later, we might do something around that. And just to summarize, like friendlies can have lower risk for injury because they don't push too much themselves. And for national teams, then we can have a slightly less injury as well, even less than what we have now.
Yeah, because it's true that players can get training on a Friday, and then they immediately play. So, and as they mentioned, I would say probably all of them are getting training. So, okay, so another one related to injuries. What does it mean that the players getting training in terms of bruises? It's like 100% and 50% slots equal in terms of possibility of being bruised.
Yeah, you can think of it as like osmosis and train. So 150% will be the same.
And there has been another question. I don't know if it has been asked here, but certainly it has been asked in the forums about the minutes. If one player plays 1 minute, does he have a 1% chance compared to another one who plays like 100 minutes or 90? Okay, the number wasn't perfect, but you know what I mean?
Right now, there's no difference, but We might change that in the future.
Mhm.
Right
Okay.
now it's equally.
So they have the same chance if they play 1 minute. Mhm. Okay, but it can change in the future.
Mm.
Okay. We also have a question, actually more than one question from Papa Mish. I will omit the first part because we're talking about injuries now. Well, but it's actually related to the Hattrick. Okay, let's go. Hattrick Masters. Are there any news about the Hattrick Masters format? And also regarding Bruce players, some Hattrick Masters teams will get Bruce players mere hours before a Hattrick Masters match and lose a team spirit update compared to teams that have the training after a Hattrick Masters match on Thursday. And it could be a big thing. Okay, Tassos, would you like to reply to this?
It's hard to comment about news for things that haven't been put on the next 3 months. Since the season is coming to the end, we are going to have the planning for next season. We know that we are going to do something with Masters. It has been discussed and spec in backstage. So I don't know we never promise. So I don't know if it will be next season or the season after, but I guess soon or soonish, something like that.
Okay. So there are questions about the anniversary league too. For instance, like this one, do you think it's somehow possible to save the anniversary league youth club players? So sad to see them just leave the system.
I think that's going to be hard. Where would they go?
I can say one thing. I mean, we all knew that the league would be closed after this season. So what's the point of keeping the youth academy open, especially like calling your scouts after the beginning of this season that is finishing, when you know that these players will not make it to the first team, to the senior team? So I don't think we cannot do anything about it.
I mean, there is so many of these things that come to the surface now that there's actually time to close the league, and it's if we ever do something like this again, we would be able to consider that better maybe, but I think this one is hard to fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I have to say that in the last 2 weeks, I don't feel like we should start another limited league for all the issues that keep coming, and that nobody is happy because there's always someone who wants to push things one way and another one pushing things the other way. Like what we just announced today, that the Hattrick Anniversary League teams will not be able to buy players from next Monday. And there were at the same time 2 different groups of people in the forum. I mean 2 people in each, like saying that we shouldn't have done that, but in the opposite sides, we shouldn't have stopped teams from buying, and others saying that we should have implemented that without announcing it. So for this kind of league, I can see that now that it's finishing and there are a lot of issues, everyone has a different opinion on how things should go. And for me, what we did, maybe people don't agree, but like blocking the teams from buying from next Monday, I think it's a good halfway point. That is, I think it's a good decision, because now that we just announced it, the teams have the rest of this week to keep buying players if they want to compete for the cup, those that are in the final, for the supporter trophy next week, for achievements. But then from next week on, all the anniversary league teams will be able to sell their players without any other anniversary league team snatching them and
Yeah.
keeping them. Because as we could see for this comment, people like their own players, even the youth players. So then this user was sad because those youth players would get lost. So there, I see and I foresee that many users from the Anniversary League will sell their players, hoping that they will not die, I would say. So
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah,
you
it
guys
keeps
agree or if everyone agrees.
it keeps things interesting for sure.
Yeah.
This is gonna.
Okay, do you see any questions that you want to highlight? Because while I'm talking, I'm not reading. So
I think even if no one maybe has asked, but it would be interesting to talk a little bit about the AI logo. I think because it's like the first time that we actually have something implemented using this kind of technology, and we have been. I mean, like we have been fooling around with it internally for a while, and we have plenty of ideas how we could use it. But I think like it's a good example because like there is so much things you can do, but in a game like Hattrick, we never wanna, we don't want things to be totally AI generated and no control of the user. Like the user generated content and everything that the users contribute is so important to the Hattrick like universe. So I think this is like I think this is a good way of doing it because I mean you describe the logo, you create the prompt, and then you get to select, and then if you don't like it, you can discard and you can pick another one. So it is your creation in the end, even though you have had help with it. And of course, we have been seeing the last year a lot of such logos in Hattrick anyway, created with other services, and many of them look amazing. So I think it's really nice that we can bring it in this way. So what you had already checked some data, Daniel, on it?
No, Tassos did.
Sorry, yeah.
So Tassos, what data do we have?
Just a simple one that since the release, we have almost 200 accepted logos, like logos that users generate, they like it, and they decide to keep it. Almost 200. So, and it's just like a few hours. So I think that's really nice.
Yeah, because we've just released it now at this moment for Platinum and Diamond supporters. So I think it's a very good number because I'm sure that many of them already had a logo. So they tried it and they accepted it.
Yeah.
So we will release it then in time, gradually to other supporter tiers, right?
Yes. The plan is that everyone will eventually gonna have access to it. But since we wanted to be sure that it will be smooth and everyone will have access because there is a queue. Whenever you generate a logo, you get into a queue. We didn't want to create a buzz around it and then everyone waits for an hour. So that's phased out release, gonna give space for everyone to try it and slowly release to everyone without waiting hours.
Okay, and there's another question. I'm just reading comments. Back to injuries. Sorry for changing subject, but this is something that we didn't mention in the editorial, and it's good. And of course, again, LA Alpa. Will special comments be added in training reports to tell which player is bruised? I think it's a very good question.
They're on the way.
So the thing is that we will see like training reports like the one that we usually see where we get like this player has changed, gone up a level, and we may see then, and this player got injured, or got bruised in the same training report, right?
Exactly. So there
Perfect.
will be two places that you can see it. It will be on the card on the My Office news in the place that you said, in the same area that you get your training report, and it also be possible to check it in the player's details page under injuries.
Okay. And I'd like to highlight another comment. It's glad to see HT Daniel, the uncrowned HT King. Wow. Wow. That gentleman also really looks like a gentleman who owes the Swedish HT national team a corner or two. Okay,
It
nice
says,
releases today.
Yeah.
if you mark another comment like this, Daniel
Yes.
will be with us on every stream.
Oh, yes, I have
Which is
already considered to join the next time.
which
But I
okay.
do
I thought you
wonder
would
why I
say.
do get so little questions about league reform in the lowest division, and I have the feeling here that I am the only one that is in the lowest division, so it's not so important for anyone else here. But if it is, please ask. And also, if you have any other ideas how it can be more fun for people like me to play in the lowest division, please bring those fantastic ideas here.
How about starting winning? That's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. But first, I wanted to have some more promotion slots, so I don't need to fight so hard.
Okay.
But I will get them here on Monday morning, and then my fight starts for real.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, I would say, oh, this one, blame HT random, Daniel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is Daniel a triple inadequate player? Looks like my weekly draw from my recruiters. And there's another comment related to the AI logo that we were discussed before. And UT Rapture says that he tried the AI logo generator and it did do a great job to what he asked. So Botticelli done good. Botticelli, I mean, I don't know if few people realized that we gave a name to that. I think it was Johan, right? You gave him the name to the bot.
Yeah. I was yeah, I was inspired. I wanted a human face to this technology, but no, but it's not mentioned on the site, I think, at the moment. But I think it's a nice name for him. Yes, I think the idea is that, like, we have. You're also using AI in some videos, right? Well, it hasn't been released yet, but there's going to be a video quite soon where we direct ourselves to new users, and we want to try videos that are in the right language. I mean, the audio is in the right language. So
Exactly.
so there we're gonna see Chase speaking Polish, for example, and it's really cool. But
really
the idea is that, like, once these kind of AI things start happening in Hattrick, we want to be very transparent about it. We don't like. I mean, I don't like when people write as if they wrote it, and then I can immediately see that it was ChatGPT that wrote it. I see that, I mean, sometimes you don't, but it's like this. It's a slippery feeling where you're not sure if you're actually, if the person actually means what he wrote because someone wrote it for him. But I also think there are absolutely great applications for it, but like we need to be clear what has been done with the help of AI. So like the Botticelli, the character is gonna he's gonna be in other places and do other things on the site, but it's a way to clarify that there's some AI involved, I think.
And there's this comment from this user, Pierre, which I've actually been exchanging some comments with this user in the YouTube video. And he says, as I asked in the discussion under the YouTube post, why add the training injury chance? I understand how it works, and I'm really sad about it for others, but I'm seriously unsure why you added it. I tried explaining it, but maybe I
Mhm.
didn't succeed. So maybe any of you can.
I think Johan, you explained that when we started.
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to
Well,
repeat the logic.
exactly. So we are basically moving a random element of the game away from a place where you can't do anything about it to a place where you can do something about it. So instead of having a serious injury happening during a match and you lose the match, you might get it will be less likely to happen, and instead a bruise might happen more often during the match or before the match. So if that bruise happens before the match, then you as a manager has a chance to react to it. You can decide if the match is so important that it's worth to take the risk to play that player, or if you should play him in the friendly instead and play someone else in the league match. So by the time of the friendly, it's probably gonna be okay. Like since injuries actually go down and random goes maybe not goes down, but you have more control over it, and people are still upset about it. I guess it's because there's a new the fact that there's a new time, a new moment in the week when an injury can occur. That is the thing that annoys people, but I don't think it's gonna be it's not gonna be that big of a deal in the end. So
Okay, so back to AI logo. There's a suggestion. Can you insert a hex color field? Tassos, what do you think?
Our first tries when we because that has been a lot of iterations internally. In the first one, we used hex color as a field, but the results were not so good as if you explain it in words. So maybe you can try to put it in the description, but yeah, we cannot promise that the results will be exactly as you want it to. I mean, it's hard to get the hex code exactly as you want it.
Okay. And as to AI sounds, will the AI narrate the matches out loud in the future?
yeah, that's. I mean, when did we start? That was not AI, maybe, but we talked about like doing an Alexa app, maybe 5 years ago or something like that. That you could just or ask Siri, play the game for me. Today you would have done that with AI voice, obviously, but so that could happen, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could happen. As we see how this is going, where it's leading, it could happen sometimes.
But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's personal preference because I don't think I would want to listen to it myself. So not the voice, but I would like to be able to, like, if you're in the car and you're like to be able to talk like to my coach, my assistant, maybe like could you give me a summary of the match, or could you check if there was any injuries and if we need to do any change to the lineup. I mean, stuff like that would be awesome. But that's quite far away, obviously. But yeah, we're testing the waters with some stuff.
Another question for you, Johan. Why not Michelangelo or Da Vinci?
Well, it's obviously because I wanted something with bot in it. So that's the only reason why we picked that painter.
It's not that you liked Botticelli more than Michelangelo da Vinci, right?
No, not really. No.
I don't know if anyone noticed, but we spell it with one T. Botticelli's with two T's. You know, the painter,
Yeah.
Sandro Botticelli, and we spell it with one because he's a bot.
Exactly.
But I think it's very subtle. So in the
Yeah.
video, you could see, I don't know if you saw it, in the video, you see the T, the second T dropping and disappearing. But you have to be like focused. Okay, what else? This one. I know the answer, but I think any of you can reply to it. What about the new World Cup format for the newly added countries? Gastazos?
Yeah, that was announced last season, I think. It's not a new format. It's just like some tweaks that will let new countries get into the system. I think the deadline is January, so around that time we're gonna see that happening.
There's another question about the Anniversary League. This is a little bit tricky. First, it says it was interesting, 8 seasons in the Anniversary League. Thank you so much for this opportunity. However, from the beginning, you said that at the end of the Anniversary League, we will not be able to buy our players, but now we can. We will. I understand that the team will close, but still, do you think this is really honest? Who wants to explain? We don't avoid these kind of questions.
It's hard because I don't remember exactly what was said back then. This is the problem of saying too much before, because things change also, and you might make a different analysis later on. But I don't see. I mean, like, in what sense is it dishonest? In what you can change your mind? In what is it unfair in a way? If you don't want to buy your player, you don't do it, right? So I think the main point is, like, as long as the transfer itself is fairly priced, I mean, there is no reason why you shouldn't be able to buy that player, I think.
We need to make it clear for those that don't know what we're talking about, that we're talking about buying your own player once the Anniversary League team is closed. That is, you cannot buy it now. You cannot buy a player. It's kind of a loophole that we're not preventing, I would say. So we're letting people buy their own players, of course, bidding with other users, I would say. Once the Anniversary League is closed, so that the Anniversary team will not get any money from that sale.
Because at that point, there's no longer like a formal connection between the Anniversary team and you, because it's been disconnected from your manager ID.
And it's not that we're encouraging it, but it can happen. We can say it this way. There were other questions that were interesting. I don't know if you have seen any of them. Back to injuries again. What about teams with old players where bruises don't go down very quickly? This has been raised in the forum as well. For instance, if you have like a 35-year-old player, it can take like 2 weeks for this bruise to disappear. Will it be that way?
Yeah, nothing has changed there.
So it could happen.
I mean, I'm 35. Even if I go to play football, I'm signing my death contract, so it's not need to be different with Hattrick.
Yeah, and again, this player could be injured in a match, and maybe previously, before this new system,
they could have got a long injury,
a longer injury. So it's still, I think we have to point out that it's still better I mean, there will be less injuries, they will be shorter, and it will be less random. So I would say don't worry about this so much, because in the end, you will notice that you get less injuries. So anything else that you see that you'd like to discuss? Now that we have Daniel here, any other things that we can ask him? Anything you want to say, Daniel?
No.
What's your favorite project now? What do you want to work on after the league reform?
Oof, that's difficult. I would say I would like to do something that makes the most impact for the biggest group of users. Make it more fun for the biggest group of users. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but something will come up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel, what is your daily routine?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is try to go up quite early, go to the office, start the computer, try to be there a few hours before everyone else, so I have the time to run some the queries, think of things, taking a cup of coffee and waiting for the others to arrive. That's the start.
Good.
Yeah.
So, more questions. Piru, he says, in general, this injury system is better, but it's horrible for set piece trainers.
Yeah.
His argument is that you're training 22 players.
No, this is another miscommunication or like wrong assumptions. The trainees has nothing to do about having higher chances to get an injury in general. That is fixed based on your assistant coach and your medic. I mean, let's say it's 10% for your setup. You have 10% to get an injured player. Then, after that, it can be either a lineup player or a trainee. Then, in that case, trainees has a little bit higher chance to get picked from like another player. So I don't think that trainings with more slots have been affected.
Okay, I think we cannot say it clearer than that.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, there's another question that has been asked a little bit before. Dark mode. We've never gotten this question, right?
No, never.
I have to say I want dark mode as well. So, but it's hard. It's harder to implement it. What I actually thought. I thought it would be like, okay, let's just change the color of the background and the color of the font, but no, it's not that easy, right?
No.
We need something else.
But I want to ask Alpa, because he's mentioned there in the comment. You have notes for every single stream we have done. Try to find one that we haven't get that answer, that question about dark mode.
Okay, so the thing is that I think we should adapt many things.
Please, mark the one at 10:35 or 9:35. Sorry, I have a different time zone.
You mean this one, right?
No, the other one. The next one.
This one is good. This one?
No,
Yeah.
no, the one below.
There's one.
This one.
This one.
Ah, Bodin,
Yes,
of course.
Okay.
He's not here with us.
He's lurking around. Yeah.
HT Bodin. Yeah, he wants dark mode too. I wanted to, I have to say. There was a moment in which I switched everything I had in the computer, in the mobile phone, to dark mode. And I couldn't in Hattrick. And since I spent so much time in the forums replying to people, and at the end I was like, damn it, I need dark mode. But we need like the icons, and we need
There's a lot of stuff. Stuff that needs to be redrawn. But then you turn 50, and then you need to go back to light mode. Otherwise, you won't be able to read anything. It's too dark.
Yeah, but I think it's something that we will implement someday. in time.
Someday, but we need to restructure a lot. I mean, since we have built on this site for so long, it will be a little bit tricky if we will not make things more generic first. That's why it went to very well with the mobile app, since that was a new development.
We could drop a bit of news here, maybe, that we haven't mentioned anywhere.
That's what I was gonna say. Shall we say it?
Should we say the words?
And I don't think Daniel and Tassos, for their faces.
No, but that we have a new team member coming on board.
You got it.
And he's a UX specialist. So
exactly.
I think we're gonna be able to be like work on these things with bigger confidence and more consistency in the near future. But it's not. I mean, I think maybe for next release we will be able to talk a little bit more about his role.
Yeah, but for instance, he's done, I don't know the percentage of work because you've been working more in that thing with him, but the new design of the league standings, the table, the colors, where you see promotion, demotion, he's the one like responsible for this, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it will be very useful for what I've seen that he's doing. So
yeah, it feels good. It's very good.
Just a new comment that just appeared. HC Daniel sounds like some Formula One race engineer, same voice. Okay. I don't know how a Formula One race engineer.
It's not that far from truth, actually, but it's more like digging construction machines and stuff like that. That makes him rev up.
Yes, maybe I should have been my excavator during next stream.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Well, I have one comment from Alpa that I want to highlight again. Alpa, I mean, he asks a lot of questions. Will we be able one day to use AI to send a better lineup than I do currently? It could be also an idea for you. Maybe the only way to beat Gusi in the homegrown league. So we have to drop the bomb here. Gusi says that she just wanted to beat us.
And now she's
quitting. And that's it. Job done. But she didn't beat me. I don't know if you saw that. She didn't beat me last weekend. Nobody commented that because other things were happening that weekend.
I only noticed that I beat you in the league in the final standings
for one goal.
Yeah.
One goal difference.
Tassos, you couldn't beat me in the final round.
Yeah.
Well,
finally,
random
left the system.
I have to give you the one single point from the whole season, so just to keep my job.
It's a shame that some teams are getting promoted and it's fun. But yeah, Gusi, we will not be able to defeat her. I tried, but we will not.
We'll keep the fun people in the team will stay in the series. So yeah.
So what would happen now? Someone will join us.
Guess someone from below, maybe. If someone, maybe someone on the stream wants to join us. We're not that hard competition, so.
Yeah, we're not that good. I was actually wondering the other day with all these preferred series thing. If many people will want to play with the HTs and defeat us.
Don't give them.
I'm not giving ideas.
I'm planning to promote next season.
Well, I was planning on promoting this season, and I'm fighting that for the emotion. So next Saturday, I'm playing against the bot. So it will be. I guess it would be easy.
Yeah. But it's quite impressive how much better she ended up being than the rest of us, given that everyone had the same starting position.
Yeah,
almost. It felt like we didn't have the same starting position. I started to wonder. It's amazing.
I think. Well, first of all, she's good. We all know that. Second, she played for one season with just one objective. Thrashing us. So
And there was no. She was not focusing on training or anything like long
exactly.
term. No. Yeah.
She had a coach with good leadership, so she could play it cool in many matches, team spirit going up. For instance, for me, my coach has poor leadership, so I could not play with team spirit as much as she did. So, but of course, she's better. I mean, she would have won anyway.
Yeah.
But it would have been great if she kept on playing. But well, she had one objective and she fulfilled it.
But just to answer the question, I think AI is more suited to supporting roles like creating content, summarizing, not so like replacing manager decisions. I think features like use AI to run your team is not the best way to use it. I cannot say that what will happen in the future, but right now there are more ways to use AI than that.
Okay. And to finish with the homegrown league, who got the second promotion spot? It was HT Juan, right?
Yes.
You were close, Tassos.
Yeah, after losing to Guzi, I just gave up.
After being thrashed by Gusi, right? You mean?
Yeah.
8-1 or something?
I still believe that he picked the whole season just to mods against me, but I'm not gonna.
She said she played normal. She modsed
I
against
don't
me.
believe that.
Actually, her midfield was 9.5, I think,
That was
which is huge for a homegrown team in the first league. But she was playing home, and against me, she had 9.5 as well, playing away. So she mods me, and Noble against you. You can see. Here's the fact. And speaking on fun subjects, Papamish says that he uploaded a short video that he made actually in 2021, but never published, as a tribute to the free avatars for the Hattrick birthday. So he kind of
Predicted it.
Yeah, predicted it.
Yeah, nice.
And that's not something that we have talked about in this stream.
No.
Nobody mentioned the free avatars. I mean, are we all supporters or what in the stream?
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
I think we should congratulate Papa Mish also, because I think I saw somewhere that he's now ranked as the #1 team in Hattrick.
Whoa. Let's see.
I think I saw that on his Twitter or something.
I don't know. I think he has an amazing team. And he was really unlucky in the Hattrick Masters last week. But I'm not aware of this. Let's see if he writes and confirms it or denies it. So what else? Yeah.
Okay. Global ladder. Nice.
Global ladder and Nick stats. Wow, amazing! Congratulations, Mish. So a question by Rautate: Are we still working on the idea of a competition smaller than Hattrick Masters with teams promoted directly from League 2? Or something similar, I guess, because we never said we would do it, but not something that is
like the
UEFA Cup or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Like the secondary competition, international club.
Europa League, right?
Yeah. No, I think we need to fix the Masters before we think of any new ones.
Yeah. And it should be, I guess, in one season at least for the Hattrick Masters, right, Tassos? If everything goes as planned.
Yeah.
The new version of the Hattrick Masters should be the next season in January, probably.
Yeah, we'll know for sure in a couple of weeks. But probably in 1 or 2 seasons from now.
And we have to clarify this for those who don't know. What do you mean by fixing the Masters? Do you think a group stage could be interesting? So Tassus, can you tell us about we have discussed backstage?
We run a series of threads in backstage. I think 2 seasons ago, where we discussed a lot with users ideas of how we can improve masters. First, we had to catalog all the disadvantages or the bad things that exist now and how we can fix them. So we came up with 2-3 solutions that we can use for. So yeah, I'm not gonna get into details because we still don't know for sure which of the two we're gonna implement. So whatever we say might change. But yeah, the idea was to have a little bit of longer master competition to give it more the presence around Hattrick that it deserves.
Okay, so now I'm thinking
Actually,
that
there is a comment that I see someone posted twice, and it's about league restructure. So maybe we can
okay,
highlight that one if you want to. It's a little bit above from Priest.
and what time more or less?
It's 9:40. I don't know
Okay,
if you can copy paste it again. It might be easier.
I
Yes,
mean,
this one.
this one. Okay,
Yeah, I think Daniel
so
might want to.
yeah, Daniel, what about having 2-week playoff instead of the current promotion system, where more teams can have an opportunity to promote? Say, second place team fights first place teams, and the winners play for promotion.
It's almost like I think you, Tassos, posted this question in as a with this hidden username or something, because you had a similar idea when we started this project, and I like it, but it felt like we haven't done so much. We haven't done anything with the league system for all these years, and that felt like a too big step to start with. But I really like the idea of having the off-season time to something really Hattrick related. So who knows what happens in the future? Now when we have
Maybe that
started
would,
working.
yeah. Maybe that would be more suitable for higher divisions rather than the lowest one, because there is more tension there.
Yeah, okay.
I was thinking that since Hattrick turns 27 this week, well, last week, and we have Daniel here and Johan, maybe you could like kind of say something interesting from the very beginning, from 27 years ago. First of all, there's something that a story that I really like is that Daniel has the user ID number 3.
Yes.
Why?
No, that's really sad. I should really be number one. That I think that is my only chance to be number one then in Hattrick. But I failed my opportunity because I created 2 test accounts in the database that I deleted for some reason, and then I ended up at the user ID 3.
And then you put me at 1836.
Yeah, I made sure that you were far below me. That took a lot of time to manage that.
So how was it at the beginning? Tell us some story so that we can
having
wrap
the
it up.
servers in the sleep in my bedroom. You mean that
Wow.
was quite fun. Having 3 big servers in the bedroom, but they sounded so much. I had to work in the living room instead. So my wife, she had to sleep with the servers. Yeah.
But there are some people who use white noise generators to sleep. Wasn't it like that?
Yeah, that might be very good for her. She slept like a baby, but I couldn't sleep at all. That was good times.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I mean, there's so much stories really, but it's pretty cool because I mean, this partnership that we have, Daniel, it's really, you know, because we were not there from the very start because Björn was the one to create the first version of Hattrick, and then I joined as a user. And I fell in love with the game, and I contacted Björn, and we decided to make a business out of it. But we realized that we needed to to build a completely new platform, and didn't have the skills to do it on a modern database. And then a friend of mine, we have a friend in common that recommended me to talk to Daniel. So for some reason you just agreed to put in all this work. I mean, how much work, for no money at all, and for absolutely, you didn't know us. You weren't like particularly interested in games or football, and you must have put in thousands of hours on this project, like not knowing anything really. There was like no real business idea, business model, or there was no money, nothing. And then we worked like that for a year and a half or something, basically without meeting each other, and then we launched.
Yeah.
And it worked.
We met once when we started the company. That's a really quick meeting, and then everyone went home again, and Bjorn sent me this large document how we wanted the Hattrick 5 to work.
Yeah, it's crazy, but this is the kind of stuff that you can do when you're in your 20s.
Yes.
And
I was just so happy to get the opportunity to build something that could reach a lot of users to do something.
And then you got
I love coding much today too, but then I really liked it.
Yeah. And then you, because we weren't working full time at that time, so you had other jobs, and during this period, you changed jobs. Like it was after the release of HD5, you took another job at the software company. And what happened when you came on the kickoff there?
What happened was that we were like 15 developers there, so it was so we started to get a little bit drunk, and then a few guys took me apart and said that, Daniel, we have something here that we must introduce you to. It's everyone here does this, so you have to join. Oh, what is it? I said, you have to play this game. You have to start play Hattrick. We will help you to sign up for a team. And I just played along. What is this for a game? So, and then we got even drunker, and then I had to tell not the secret, but that I worked with it, and they became so happy. So they start calling their girlfriends, and I had to talk to them in the middle of the night.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
And that, it was fantastic times.
Okay, so if you want, we can reply to a couple of 3 more questions, and then we wrap it up for today.
Yep.
There are, for instance, we haven't talked about sponsors, I think. So there's this question about the new sponsor system. Recent league and cup performance and the team's power rating looks like positive, negative, look back. It's not actually a question, but it's a good thing to explain a little bit how this new sponsor system will work and the importance of the league and cup performance compared to the team's power rating, which is less clear. So, Tassos?
Yeah. So we went back and forward a lot with the previous sponsors, and we got all the feedback we could from the forum and the backstage and several users. So we decided that we remove the contracts, we keep the default one, and then we step by step add new layers on top. So yes, cup and league works more like as a positive boost to the money that you get. The higher the league performance it is, the higher the most advanced in the cup that you have been, the more money you are going to get. However, there have been a lot of discussion about power rating, and I mentioned that there is no intention from us to create like a micromanagement process. Like I need to increase my power rating by 2 numbers to get more money. No, there's not gonna be used like that. The only way that we're gonna use power rating is to identify teams that underperform to make it more clear, like the sold outs team that sell everything one day to the other and then decide to go to the very bottom of the division. So this kind of change is gonna be used with the power rating, and then they're gonna just miss a bonus that the other team's gonna get. So it's not, as I said, something that they need to be afraid of on a week by week.
So basically, the sponsors see that this team is not ambitious now; they are not trying, and then that has a cost, not
Exactly.
not a catastrophic cost, but it has a cost.
Yeah. I mean, it might be like 5-10% that the other teams are gonna get, but that team not gonna get, just because, as you described, they're not gonna get that attention from the sponsors.
Okay, that's another question that has been asked quite a lot, and I was waiting for the right moment to highlight it. It's this one. It's tricky. He says, sounds a little bit angry, but I'll try to read it without having to put an angry voice. What about recalibrating the motor engine? I guess it's the game engine, instead of focusing on developments with an AI logo. Users play Hattrick not for the graphics, but for the way they can manage their team. We have been experiencing unrealistic and uncommon results lately. When can you perform that recalibration? So who wants to take the hot potato?
I mean, okay. I guess there's two things to say, and you can talk about this, the Tassos, the fact that about the unexpected results, and so I mean that's an ongoing process, and we are doing things. There's things to say, but about like putting one feature against another is also, it doesn't work like that. It's not like we have 1,000 hours and we can put all of them into the match engine. We have to have like a flow of different projects that target different kinds of users, and these like match engine things, they are not really, I mean, most part not really developer work. It's like analysis work, and like that you iterate in many ways. So just please don't put an AI logo against match engine. It doesn't work like that. We have to be able to do different things. Doesn't mean that we don't care about the match engine at all.
We are constantly doing things to improve this and making it better and better.
Yeah. And also, I mean, the match engine has to be like, those changes has to be slow and like something that we build on, right? Because otherwise we have users that will say that it's too quick, basically. But yeah.
Tassos, would you want to add anything to this?
Well, I have to really say this more or less the same what Johan said, that if someone is working on a feature, it doesn't mean if that feature didn't exist that he will work on match engine. There are so many areas, and there are analyses that need to be done behind. So even if we don't do anything else, doesn't mean that we're going to have 100 extra hours to match engine. I have to disagree with one word from the comment that was lately, which, well, I don't think that things have changed to the worse. To the opposite, things have changed to the better. And we can see that with the stats that we have internally. So the match engine has been less and less unpredictable. I mean, we can even see it in the comments, like since you highlighted, there were like 4 or 5 people claiming that, no, it's fine.
No, exactly.
So, but I mean, half of the comments that you see is people having 54% chances to win. And they say like, I lost, why? that doesn't mean that we don't want to improve things. Actually, we want, and we will. And as Dana said, we constantly are thinking about new features and how we can recalibrate part of the match engine. And believe it or not, injuries have been one of those. We wanted to move part of the random to make the injuries more predictable inside the game, more deterministic, if I can say that, and move the random outside.
I like this one.
Yeah.
The match engine needs to be letting me win more games.
But maybe we could have like a kind of a game experience where everyone wins. It's like you're just watching, in your experience, you are winning every match, and it's like that for everyone. Everyone will be happy. You just have to make sure that they don't talk to each other.
But it would be boring, right? I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, up to another thing that has been asked a lot to Hattrick shop with t-shirts and other Hattrick clothes.
I mean, have we had this question before? I have a vague memory that it's coming. Yeah.
We can tell Alpa to check it too.
Yeah. It will come when the time is right.
Yeah, it's hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, do you have any other question that you would like to reply to? No?
No, I think this is
okay. Then we can wrap it up. It's been like 1 hour and a half, so more than enough. I have to say that was this comment. I like it. Then it looks very comfortable.
But it's not true. But it was not as hard as I thought it would be. So I'm happy.
Did you have a good time?
Yep, definitely.
Great. So we'll have you here more often then. Great. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks for your questions, and see you soon in the next release. Right.
Okay.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.